things are made from one, and in the end, all things return to one.
In other words, one is all.
Indeed, and all is one as well.
All is ultimately of the one. So if all is not included in the one, then all is nothing.
You have passed.
How's the vibrate? Being aware. Excuse me. Being aware of when you're summoning people and when people are summoning you. This is why it's so key to know yourself. Know when it's on point to be in isolation so you could get to know yourself, and know when it's on point for you to not be so isolated. You know, learn that proper balance for you. It would only be best to, I don't like to use the word advice to add a vice, but it would only be, best in essence for you to listen to somebody when it comes to certain things about how to move and do things, if either they done it or on an astrological level they have some of the same exact placements as you, and they've been through experiences that allow for them to maneuver through certain things, and they're trustworthy, you feel me? But knowing when you're summoning someone and when you're being summoned. And for me, this just naturally comes to me, being aware of like the subtle nuances of psychic energy, so to speak, especially when it comes to telepathy, communicating and connecting with others, as it relates to, ourselves and others, and just the wholeness of being, like how everything is interconnected, and how you also have a unique individual energy. I done disconnected to the videos I done about the free will slash the free will versus what I was calling it, the free will versus destiny cycle. It's a video I did on that and how that connects to the new moon and the full moon cycle as well. You're planting seeds. You have that choice, free will, to plant seeds during the new moon. But then once it gets to the full moon, the destiny cycle where, all right, plant the seeds, so now the fruit, like you have no choice but to see the corn sprout up, or the aloe vera sprout up, or the weeds that you weren't expecting to sprout up, you feel me? But knowing that, depending on your energy, and this also speaks to the, grounded energy compared to floaty. When you're grounded, not everybody's going to go through a cycle of, where you're going to go into somebody, somebody summoning you to a certain extent, and you're doing the summoning or the, actively, planning out things. And just in general, like what I realize is how, basically paying attention to when somebody do or says something, or just energetically without them saying or doing anything. In essence, I could pick up when somebody is signaling my energy, so to speak, or summoning or signaling, communicating to my energy. I'm able to pick up on that, and excuse me, because I'm walking to find this little space. But picking up on when somebody is signaling or summoning your energy. And when you know yourself, you know certain things that, like, all right, I would like to do that. Let me give a great example. With me having a YouTube platform, I love to do videos. I love to share knowledge, and I love to, share knowledge and sometimes, do like an interview style collaboration with others. But I could tell when somebody's strongly trying to summon my energy to, connect on doing a video, let's just say. And when, and how it could align. Like sometimes somebody strongly looking to summon me, and I don't mind being summoned in that moment. Like I'm in a mode where like, all right, I could tell this person's summoning my energy, or signaling towards me. And though on top of that, though, I don't mind the collaboration or the connection, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be, advantageous for the both of us. I don't feel like, like the way I felt summoned and signaled on on so many levels, it was in a way that, didn't feel like manipulative, in that type of way. Compared to like, somebody signaling and summoning in a manner where it doesn't feel right, or or it's misaligned, you know what I'm saying? Like it may not be the right moment, or it may never be the right moment, you know what I'm saying? And I could feel this person like, summoning my energy in essence, And the same thing with me summoning others, and hence why again, like, the energy simply, it's just on a quote unquote, as we live our life on a mundane level, the energy of do unto others as you would want done to yourself. And knowing that, I have that energy as well, you know what I'm saying? Especially with a Mars and Pisces placement, you know what I'm saying? Like you're able to will things in the subconscious realm, on the Neptunian, you could say Jupiter, distant travels, distantly, astrally traveling, you know what I'm saying? And then Neptune, subconscious, illusions, things of that nature, diving deep into the subconscious aspect. And with Mars, it's like a willpower, it's like directing that energy, you know what I'm saying? And Capricorns, with the bossy, this from my Western astrology, perspective. But the Capricorn energy, having that energy to, influence things, direct things, almost like a boss, you know what I'm saying? Like, pointing out what it wants to be done, delegating energy, you feel me? But because I'm aware of that, I'm aware to not abuse that ability unless, I look to see that same abuse I dish out to come back to me. You feel me? But just having that awareness is just about, again, being aware of yourself and your ability to summon and be summoned, and just being aware of the nuances of it. You feel me? Like, what always helps me, as somebody who, once I started doing enough of videos, I, became seen on, in essence, on a worldwide level. I always go back to like, how was I doing things before a lot of people knew, would see me, you know what I'm saying? Before I was getting approached by a lot of people and things of this nature, what was my goals and plans, and like how was I doing things then? That kind of helps me gain clarity. And then also, again, like the things that you were inspired to do and you love to do from childhood that you knew came from genuinely you, and it wasn't programmed into you. And for the most part, you could also tell that it wasn't a program because you were great at doing it as well. Not only you love to do it, but you were great at doing it. It just comes easy. But again, awareness of yourself is the greatest protection, or knowledge of yourself is the greatest protection, because when you know yourself, like, oh no, I wouldn't do that. Like, that ain't, what I'm saying, that ain't my vibe. You feel me? And it gets tricky when, say for instance, you may be summoned to do something and it's in a little blurry area or your blind spot where you may think like, oh, that's the moralistic thing to do, or that's what most entrepreneurs supposed to do, and somebody's, pulling on your energy to come to that area, but truthfully, like deep down inside, it's really not aligned and not best for you. But because you're a little blurry in that area, or because, say for instance, you may tend to put authority figures' opinions before yours, and I say opinions, but to some extent, putting authority figures' perspective, sometimes before yours, you know what I'm saying, then, you may kind of have that blind spot, and being aware of your blind spots, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like, it was necessary to just bring up a reminder and, being aware of this energy, as I feel like right now on a collective level, some, not all, are in a little space of like, it's almost like esoteric, metaphysical, telepathic, friendship, community, musical chairs energy right now. It's like, dancing around the chairs and the music stop, and then, sit down. It's like, oh, all right, that person out, you know what I'm saying? And we get up and dance, until it's like, let's just say, instead of like actual music chairs where it's one person left, like it's a few people left in the circle, you know what I'm saying? And that's the ones that's meant to, do the dance and sit down with you, in essence, you know what I'm saying? And it's, it's that energy kind of coming about. So just, again, being aware of your ability to summon and be summoned, and knowing, when you're connecting on that level in a healthy manner, because again, you could be, and some people energy is so strong that you could be summoned, you could be being signaled or summoned, and you might actually think you want that, you know what I'm saying? Because, and that again, because if you lack a strong sense of self, and again, for some people, for some, I ain't promoting this, just saying for some people, let's just say with a lot of Pisces placements, let's just say, which they kind of, in essence, gonna have more of a floaty energy, you know what I'm saying? And they may not care about their floaty, like they may not care to try to, stabilize their energy, But, with that type of energy, where it's super, super feminine, again, like somebody is signaling or summoning their energy so strongly. On the opposite end, they got like a Aries direct, like super, super Mars, either Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, like going directly at the thing type of energy, where when they do signal or summon you, you feel like, oh man, this something that I kind of had this thought once. Like basically, that energy of like where you kind of, the energy is so strong, you talk yourself into believing that you want something that you really never really wanted to that level. You feel me? But because of the person that's signaling you or summoning your energy, they strong about it. And again, this is something that we also may do, subconsciously. Subconsciously, where you may be summoning somebody, you may be on the end of summoning or signaling somebody, but you don't really, you're not really doing it consciously. Like you may subconsciously just constantly thinking about how much you want to be around trustworthy people, let's just say. You're like, man, or you might, again, it might not be consciously. You may have just been through a lot of things that just kind of cause you on a subconscious level to never really want to be around anybody who seems sketchy, let's just say. And then all of a sudden you're getting calls or people coming to you who are very trustworthy and unsketchy. But, it's like you kind of subtly feel like, but where they kind of coming from? I wasn't consciously asking for them or this, but it's because, you're subconsciously, calling out to that energy, you know what I'm saying? So, again, being aware of, the subtle nuances and just the all-around energy to the best of your ability, constantly learning about yourself, so you could be aware of this, again, yin and yang, push and pull, going out, coming in type of energy. You feel me? But, and that's why it's always great to, again, assess yourself. For some, they pull out a journal, they may do video recordings, voice recordings, or, just naturally kind of have that internal recorder, however it works for you, however it aligns for you. But being aware of like, all right, why do I want to go here? Why do I want to go there? Why I don't want to do this? Why do I feel funny about going here? When I made that decision, was I angry or was I happy? What emotion was going through me when I made that choice, or, I felt like I should do this. When I went to the store, was I going through something emotional and only felt like eating because I was feeling the emotion and I really wasn't hungry? But it's like going through all that, And I know this is subtly, I've been doing a lot of these types of videos as of lately, for the last at least 2 years, kind of, in between at least about 5 to 10 videos, I kind of talk about subject matters that has to deal with this type of energy. But, again, it's just after seeing myself go through certain things, I just want to share because I know, that it would be very helpful, to others. Again, you might have certain, again, on some non-manipulative aspect, you might have a teacher that caught wind of you, and like, man, I would really love to teach so-and-so, But it may be in a moment in your life where you're not ready to take that class, or those classes may not align for you. Or you was thinking about those classes at one time, but it's really not, a thing. You'll feel or sense that energy. And if you're not, grounded in your awareness of who you are, and your unique expression of source and all that is, in the paradox of oneness and duality, like you could, again, like talk yourself into going into situations that really you were just being signaled and summoned to and may not truly be in alignment. And again, being aware of how you signal and summon, because it's the holistic picture. You're not just focusing on, again, it ain't just like, what somebody, it starts with you, first and foremost. That's going to always be my foundational aspect, other than now is the vibrate, of how I was, starting off every video. But, like inner self and inner, understanding, like your inner world is what creates your outer world, not your outer world creating your inner world. You feel me? So definitely. But now is to vibrate. Peace.